Joining me now is Sky News contributor Tina McQueen and New South Wales One Nation leader Tania Mihailuk. Thanks to both of you for joining me this evening. Look, I want to get your reactions to what's occurred today here, Tina. A synagogue, a place of worship, has now been firebombed, just like we saw back in 1938. What do you have to say to this?
That was a chilling editorial you did, and spot on. Look, it's frightening, it's saddening, it's awful. And I think Peter Dutton hit it on the head when he said you wouldn't like to expect this, but sadly, we were waiting for something like this to happen because Labor has fed it. Labor hasn't pushed back. There's been nothing to stop the protests, nothing at all. It's absolutely disgraceful, heartbreaking. You know, and to think that Jewish people do not feel safe in this country is just, something has to be done. But it's too late. As you said, it should have been done October 7, October 8, October 9. All those days something should have been done, and it wasn't. And Albanese's response are just... they're disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. There's no passion, there's no shock, there's no horror, nothing. It's just, standard lines he's rolling out to think that will appease us all. Well, it won't. We want action and we want it now.
Absolutely, we want action. And what it's proven today with this attack is that Jewish people are not safe in this community, Tania. And this is frightening. This is 2024. We should all be feeling safe in a place like Australia.
Yeah, and the seriousness can't be overstated. I mean, this isn't just a mere protest. This is a barbaric criminal act, an act of terror. And we would expect absolute outrage from the Prime Minister and from, the Premier of Victoria. I would expect that all resources are now being put towards ensuring that we find who these criminals are, and the book be thrown at them. And I'm sure it's more than just a couple. Okay, this is it looks to me like it's an organised crime. Everybody needs to be alarmed by this because it is a place of worship, and it's something that we value in Australians. We love our places of worship, and it should be a safe place that you go for prayer. The fact that these people had a blatant disregard for human life.
Yes.
And we're lucky that nobody was hurt. But, what's next? And look, I think not enough more, this needs to be spoken about every day. And I think the next step is when they do find these people, is to make sure they're not given bail. Because
100%.
That's the next thing we need to worry about, is some weak, woke judge in Victoria giving them bail.
But, Tanika, it's not just the Jewish people that don't feel safe. I live in the city. I don't feel safe at city weekends when those protests are on. So it's affecting everybody. I mean, clearly Jewish people are not safe and cannot wear any symbols that they're of the Jewish faith. But all Australians are at risk in the city now with those protests, because at some stage they too will turn more violent than what they already have been.
And it's week in, week out. It's constant disruptions, and you feel for the Jewish community, but, enough is enough with it. It's out of control now. Look, we will be speaking more about this, obviously, in the show, but I want to move on to other topics now, because Peter Dutton is a chance, apparently, to win a majority in his own right at the next election, and is the clear favourite to have the largest number of seats according to an analysis of the likely makeup of the next parliament. This is according to Redbridge. They say Anthony Albanese has no chance of winning a majority, but the coalition could pick up at least 9 seats. Tania, how do you read this?
Look, I've been saying for months that Albanese is hoping for a minority government. He knows that he can't get a majority government, and he's a shrewd politician. And he'll do any deal he can with the Teals, the Greens, whoever. He's prepared to do a deal. But look, it's good news for the coalition. I wouldn't be popping the champagne cork just yet. Yeah. There's a lot of work between now and an election, and anything can happen. Look, this has come out of 2022. Yes, people didn't want Morrison, but at the same time, Albanese was elected on the back of promising people cost of living relief. He's failed to do that. We know the $275 rebate's been a fizzer. They've completely lost control of interest rates, and we can see that. I mean, Chalmers is just sidelined. Nobody cares what the Chalmers thinks.
I'll tell you what's more scary, though, Tanika, is that Albanese would be very comfortable with a Green.
Of course he would.
God help us.
But that's what I was saying. He's a shrewd politician who is prepared to cut any deal.
He can be as shrewd as he's like, but if Dutton takes a bold, brave approach as Trump has, and stood firm with his conviction, firm on policies, and looked after the working people that are suffering, we will win. There's no question about that. And that's all Peter Dutton has to do, is be genuine, focus on the policies, and stick up for the suffering people out in the western suburbs and other areas that are really in a lot of pain at the moment.
I mean, the concern is that you could have Prime Minister Anthony Albanese with a de facto of Adam Bandt.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a disastrous partnership that we just simply do not want. Oh, please, no, please, let's just not even go there, you know.
Peter Dutton needs, I want to say this, he needs to actually differentiate himself more from Albanese. I have found the last couple of weeks in Parliament a little bit unnerving, I've got to say. But I welcome his announcement on Port Stephens on saying that he will cancel the offshore wind farm. More announcements like that will see him becoming Prime Minister.
He's actually listened to the community on this one. So.